Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 has finally wrapped up, and oh! Never felt so empty to be without a new Mob Psycho episode. Now, if you're watching this video and maybe you haven't seen Mob Psycho Season 2 yet, maybe you're still on Season 1, I'll try not to spoil anything for you for like the first half of this video, but after that first half, I'm just gonna have to go off. And if you haven't watched Mob Psycho at all, I don't know what's wrong with you. You gotta go watch this series. So first and primemost, Mob Psycho Season 2 took the animation to a whole other level. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. The animation team from Mob Psycho just really brought their A game for the second season. And I really liked the animation that they did in the first season of Mob Psycho, you know, kind of experimental type stuff. Some people don't really like that sketchy type of animation where they bend and contort body parts while they're moving. I like it. I think it kind of looks interesting and a lot more smooth flowing. But, you know, that's just an animation style. The incredible thing about Mob Psycho Season 2 is the fights, and how the fights were animated so smoothly. Oh, flying through the air like fucking Superman! For the opening, they actually even had teaser fights. You were prepared to see awesomeness when it came. Sorry, I'm so hyped up now upon like completing Mob Psycho. Let me just calm down a little bit. In case you haven't noticed now, Mob Psycho 100 is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite anime. So that's why. So they had the teaser fights in the opening theme, and they have a new opening theme, and I kind of said it before that I liked the first season opening theme for Mob Psycho so much that I kind of would like it if they just never changed it. It's the same thing for One Punch Man. I think the first opening theme for One Punch Man is just so good. It's like, why would you ever change it? But for Mob Psycho Season 2, they did change the song, but they kept the same band from the first song. So the first song is called 99. The next song is literally called 99.9 by the same band. That's not confusing. It's a really good song too. Like all the music from this season was terrific. I really like the episodes where they're diving in pretty deep into Mob's character. They're showing progression with him too. He's like getting stronger as he's been joining the Body Improvement Club. He's been training all this time and he is actually showing improvement. And you see the progression of his character and different conflicts that he faces, some of which are not quite resolved yet. We see a little bit more of his past, we see a little bit more of his character being shown, we see improvement in his character, development, but we still really don't know the origin of the question percentage. I don't know if we're going to find out anything about that in the third season, given that there is one. There better be a third season. I'm gonna beat some people up. We also get a little bit deeper into Reagan, and at first I was like, well, I like Reagan as a side character. I don't know if I would really like a whole episode dedicated to him, but they went for it, and I loved that episode. Probably one of my favorite episodes of the season, straight up. Let me tell you something. One knows how to write characters. He really does. He really dives deep into, like, psychology. You know, this is definitely, like, one of those anime where I would go out and actually buy the manga to help support it. But they haven't redone the manga. And I'm not sure why they haven't redone the Mob Psycho manga. Because, like, they redid the One Punch Man manga, and it all looks great in the manga, right? But then they kept the original one drawings for the Mob Psycho manga, and I don't know if he requested that they keep his original drawings in the manga, if that was something personal to him because, you know, maybe he did a lot of work on the drawings and he felt near and dear to it. He's like, no, I don't want it to be changed. But you gotta understand, I can't buy that manga in good conscience. People are gonna, you know, flip through it and be like, you go out to buy the manga to support the anime. You're not just doing it so that you can read the story. You're not even just doing it so you can support the anime. You're doing it because it looks cool. It's very nice art, you know? So I feel weird buying Mob Psycho 100 manga when the art is not very appealing. Alright, let me put my shirt on so I can go over spoilers. That fight with the teleporter guy, definitely the best fight throughout the season. I mean, the fight with him and the ghost psychic, what was his name? Hirogashi, something like that. That was a fun fight and all, but it just wasn't as coolly choreographed as the fight with the teleporter guy. We got to see everyone working as a team, figuring out, you know, his flaws, figuring out his patterns. And of course, who better to finish off the teleporter guy than frickin' Reagan, who just literally walks right up to him and just that boy got some dumb luck. I love it. And that's another fun thing about the teleporter guy. He got away. He's not imprisoned. They didn't necessarily capture him. He just teleported away somewhere and we don't know where he went. Now, who wants the teleporter guy to come back in season 3? Now, what I said before about diving deeper into Mob, you see that he has a bunch of different kind of conflicts throughout the season. One of those conflicts being sympathy for spirits. This is kind of briefly just brought up in one episode and then kind of forgotten about for the majority of the rest of the season, but I think it's kind of interesting. Because the way that he figures it is killing evil spirits similar or equal to killing evil people here in real life? Are spirits equal to living people? And I think that's kind of an interesting conflict that he has, because all throughout the seasons, he's just been executing spirit by spirit without really thinking about it so much. I do remember in season 1, he kind of lets the one motorcycle rider's spirit go, and he gives him like his old photo to look back at. The way he figures is, well, as long as you can't hurt anybody, I guess there's no reason to kill you. And it's the same thing with Dimple. Dimple's not really a bad guy. The way Mob figures is, well, if Dimple's not going to hurt anybody, then it's not a big deal to just leave him floating around. And this is kind of an open conflict at the moment. We don't know if it's going to come up again later. It probably will. Another conflict is the same conflict that we've already been introduced to in season 1, his emotions. His emotions and his control over his powers, of course. Now in the boss fight, it was kind of interesting to see how Mob was kind of getting into it. He was smiling and enjoying himself for a brief moment. He wanted to just go all out on this guy. And then of course he's able to snap himself out of it. He looks down at Ritsu and he remembers, well, last time I lost control of my powers, I hurt someone that I cared about. So he knows that he has to keep his emotions in check, keep everything controlled upstairs. And one of the most interesting parts about the boss fight was the fact that he was switching emotions at 100% very sporadically. And the announcer doesn't necessarily go over what emotion he's feeling, so we just kind of have to watch it and guess for ourselves. I mean, you know that the ending emotion that he was on was definitely like the, what was it, courage? Because then his eyes actually change and become like red and he looks sparkly. Which I think that's kind of funny. I guess it's him just like being his own ideal hero in that moment. So he's all handsome and sparkly. I don't know. And you know, even the boss notices it while he's fighting him, and he even says, your emotions are all out of control. Speaking of out of control, did anyone else's heart literally stop beating at the end of the episode where he opens the door and he sees the dead bodies? That was the ultimate cliffhanger. But you see, at first I was watching that, I was like, no fucking way. I'll admit, I looked it up. I looked it up in the manga because I was like, there's no way this is that type of show where they kill off his parents. And then later I watched that episode with Adam, he's like, I hope they killed off his parents. What is wrong with you? It's not that kind of show! One of the last things I want to talk about is, you know that animation from the first season opening? The opening song? I know that there's no cool teaser fights in season 1's opening, but they have this one scene, and I think it was foreshadowing the end of season 2. Either it was foreshadowing the end of season 2, or that is one crazy coincidence. So like most of season 1's opening animation, it's all like just random, super experimental, weird stuff all over the place. There's this one scene And it's right at the chorus, like, if everyone is not special.
Everyone is not special, maybe you can't be what you want to be.
You see, like, Mob's outline and his heart, and it explodes, and, you know, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, it makes sense, you know? He has explosions when his emotions get out of control. The explosion is like a mushroom cloud, and it turns into broccoli. I don't know if that was foreshadowing or not. Was that foreshadowing him turning the explosive energy into a big broccoli? Because if so, my mind is blown. Now I'm kind of wondering, oh, are they just like dropping hints in the opening themes for the next season? Should I be studying the opening themes? So yeah, the idea was he tried to absorb the boss's explosive energy, and because there were broccoli seeds in his pocket, the idea, I think, was that he used the excess energy to grow the broccoli. And that's how he released all the energy without causing a giant explosion that killed everybody. That's also why there's a huge broccoli just like in the middle of the city now. I'm really surprised how the majority of the city seems, you know, fine. Not really in ruins. Wasn't Mob like using half of the city's buildings to just throw at the boss during that fight? But no, guys, the city's fine. Or maybe it's just like a far off part of the city. Maybe they're like at the outskirts of the city, so all of their schools and homes don't really get that wrecked from all this fighting going on here. But yeah, all in all, Mob Psycho Season 2, it just brought their A game this year. It's like I've been telling you guys, 2019 is a great year for anime. I'm honestly pretty shocked that we got Mob Psycho Season 2 before One Punch Man Season 2. One Punch Man Season 2 is coming out soon too. And they released a trailer, and the trailer was awful. The trailer was so bad. Like, there was large portions of the trailer where it was just black screen and like a voice in the background. Are you kidding me? You need to show me. You need to show me the animation. It's a show. It's visual. I don't watch shows to read subs. I watch shows to watch the cool fights. But yeah, I'm hoping that One Punch Man Season 2 will be good as well. I've actually read ahead a lot more with One Punch Man than I have with Mob Psycho. Mainly because they haven't redone the Mob Psycho manga. And they probably won't if they haven't already. But enough of me talking. What did you guys think of Mob Psycho Season 2? Is it one of the best of 2019? Yes, it is. And of course, remember to like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, because I make all kinds of different videos and I bet you'll like at least one of them. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Program restart.